In this video, I'll be talking about a very important concept in online marketing that I call target audience evolution, or TAE for short. The idea is simple, but it's absolutely essential. In fact, you can't build a truly successful online publishing business without it. It's connected to every important aspect of the business, from content to email marketing, and of course, to traffic generation. So in a nutshell, target audience evolution is the process of initiating and escalating a relationship online properly. Now you might be wondering, what does relationship building have to do with traffic? Well, these two things tie closely together. When you understand how to use TAE, you'll get much better results with your perpetual traffic machine. So what is the proper way to apply target audience evolution? Well, quite simply, it boils down to this. You want to escalate relationships online in the same way you do in the real world. In the real world, when two strangers encounter each other, there's a separation between them. In order to bridge this gap, we often use something called an icebreaker. This could be commenting on the weather, making an observation about the surrounding environment, saying hello, or asking, "How's your day going?" Now, the key with an icebreaker is that it should add value. It should be a sincere offering to connect. When done properly, it can lead to a conversation, and from there, perhaps, a more substantial relationship between two people. Icebreakers are often the easiest way in the real world to spark an initial successful connection. Now, contrast using an icebreaker in the way I described with going up to someone you've never seen before and asking them to marry you. Do you think you'd get a yes in that case? I don't think so. In both the online world and the real world, relationship temperature needs to escalate naturally and gradually, moving from cold to warm to hot. If you try to jump from cold to hot, chances are you won't make it. So let's tie this concept into traffic generation. Anyone who is in your target audience who has never been exposed to you or your website before is cold. How you approach a cold audience can make all the difference. I see a lot of online marketers set up a nice looking opt-in page to build their list, and then they drive cold traffic directly to that page. This is a mistake though, because it's asking for a commitment too soon in the relationship. You're basically asking someone to give you their email address before you've properly introduced yourself and your brand. Remember, your goal at the beginning of a relationship should be to add value, not ask for something from the other person. That's why a blog is so important for an online publishing business. It's on your blog that you can really showcase yourself and your brand. You can do this on the blog homepage as well as on the About page. You can also offer quality content on your blog, which is one of the primary ways that you can add value online, which will increase audience temperature from cold to warm. It's only once your audience is warm that you should ask them to join your list. That's why it's a good idea to put opt-in forms on your blog. They're not the central feature of your blog, but they should be placed in highly visible locations so that people can join your list after receiving value from your content. With that said, you still want to send traffic to your dedicated opt-in page sometimes. You just don't want this page to be the first thing a cold audience sees, because again, it would be asking for a commitment too early in the game. Now, a blog isn't the only way to warm up a cold audience. When you're aware of target audience evolution, you'll see ways to warm up your audience before ever sending them to your website. For example, here's the Facebook fan page for our website, freelancewritingriches.com. Whenever we post to our fan page, we have an opportunity to warm our target audience up. One way we do this is by posting graphics that appeal to our target audience, such as this one. It's simple, but it adds value, which is the key to increasing audience temperature. When someone becomes a fan, they're cold. But then they're exposed to posts like this one, which increase their temperature. Notice as well that the fan page is branded with a picture, custom header graphic, and about section. These things build trust and increase audience temperature. Now we can post links directly to our opt-in page from time to time and see the results we want. Lots of quality opt-ins from a warmer audience. We enhance this effect by also posting links to blog posts on the Freelance Writing Riches blog, which further increases temperature. Let's look at another example. Here's one of our YouTube channels, which we set up to drive traffic to another site of ours, betafishcenter.com. Now let's look at one of the videos we've added to this channel. Notice that below the video, we're sending traffic to this URL, which leads to a dedicated opt-in page. We're able to do this and see a great opt-in rate because the content of the video itself serves to warm up our cold audience. Essentially, people are going to YouTube and typing in keywords like betta fish diseases and finding our video. At this point, they're totally cold. After watching the video though and receiving some great information, their temperature increases and many of them are ready now to make a small commitment to receive more information. So putting an opt-in page in front of them where they can join our email newsletter and further their education on betta fish care makes sense. I'll share one more example with you, and it has to do with retargeting. As I mentioned in the last video, retargeting is a very powerful traffic technique and an essential component of your perpetual traffic machine. And this is because it gets results. This year, retargeting increased our revenue by close to 35%. Now here's an example of how we use it and how target audience evolution comes into play. In this example, we're driving traffic from our Facebook fan page to our blog. We've installed the Facebook pixel on our blog, which tracks our visitors and enables us to set up custom segments for retargeting. In this case, we've instructed the pixel to segment anyone who visits the blog but does not visit the opt-in thank you page. This means that we're segmenting people who come to the blog but don't join our list. We can then tell Facebook to show a specific ad to these people after they leave our website. Can you guess what kind of ad we're showing them? If you guessed an ad to come to our dedicated opt-in page, you'd be right. They've already visited our blog and we are assuming that they've consumed at least some of the content. This means their temperature has increased, so we want to make them a more aggressive offer now to join our list, which is why our retargeting ads point them to our dedicated opt-in page. So those are a few examples of how target audience evolution ties into traffic generation. The main thing is to simply be aware of this. This way you're not just going through the motions when you're driving traffic. You can clearly see how everything you do affects temperature, and this of course will lead to better results for your business. Alright, that wraps it up for this video. Meet me in the next video where we'll get to work setting up the first component of your perpetual traffic machine, which is Facebook.